Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Cha Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Prarayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tuje Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we are in London, and we're in the West London temple today. And here are some of the devotees, and more are around and about. As in every temple, they're busy doing many things, and I think Saraswati, Lavanya, and others can let you know a bit of their big seva that they're doing this week. In the meantime, Mahaprabhu is not eating, so it's an opportunity for us. Oh, you want to show? Yes. So Saraswati will take you to see Mahaprabhu, and she'll show you. Oh, no, wait. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Hey, we'll keep it on there. Okay, so Saraswati is going to take you to Mahaprabhu, and he'll tell you his name and Giriraj, etc.
Here we have Shri Guru Gauranga Sundar Radha Giridhar Ju.
Try to sit. Yes, sit in the picture.
Yeah. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Sundar Radha Giridhar Ju ki Jai.
In the chair.
No, she's saying move your chair forwards, not move the chair.
Okay, we're discreetly trying to get all the devotees to be less shy and more in the picture. And that's it.
Please, I can't move it. Sit down, sit down.
Okay. Anjali's not telling you all to sit down. You're all sitting and seated and being well behaved. Here, in defense of the devotees, they just have completed their arati. They have the arati here at 6 p.m. And here's 6:30. And the Tulsi arati. And you know, in London, very beautiful Tulsi, they have a purpose-built greenhouse, underfloor heating, and some kind of high-tech regulation for the humidity, for the light, the ultraviolet light, and very high-tech and very successful, we can say. Tulsi is like huge inside the greenhouse.
The tree is
Anyhow, maybe we can see later. But now let us come to the topic, and the topic Devashish Prabhu has given us is worship the path of love in the mood of reverence. This is the topic, so we can all just give a little thought about that. But first, I really think that we should ask Saraswati Devi, who is seated with us here, because she may disappear, we never know, but she's the manager of the London here, and to just give us some news from London, because we are in London, and She's the London news giver, and they're all working very hard. They've got lots of volunteers coming, and it's a very active temple, and especially this week. Many weeks, I'm sure, but especially this week. So Saraswati.
Well, I can pass the microphone to Lavanya Mayi because she's organizing this food fair. So she knows more
Okay.
about it than me.
Okay, so
Lavanya.
Weekends activities.
Come on. Danda pranams to everyone. Well, Lavanya Mayi is organizing once a year this food fair in a yoga exhibition or something. What is it?
Yoga show.
Yoga show. So she's preparing the whole weekend with. It's quite an intense program from Thursday to Sunday to do some fundraising for the temple. So she has many volunteers booked to come this weekend. And so the all preparation will begin from Thursday all the way to Sunday. And some devotees will be here helping out, and some will be there in the actual exhibition. We have a big food stall. How big is it? What happened to last week?
This is a very natural London Zoom.
Anyway, so that is happening this weekend, and last weekend we had some guests coming, some from the Indian community. They were celebrating a special Tilak and Bindi Day. So we basically did some kirtan with them, and they asked me to put Tilak on all of them and explain what was the meaning of Tilak and like that. So then we had some kirtan with them, and then they joined the Arati, and then they had some prasadam, and they were all happy. So like that. And yeah, the service going on, and we are happy to have Maharaj here with us. And Pandita has joined us. Amazing. She is here. Yes, yes. She's just here for a moment. She's busy. So anyway, I pass the microphone to Maharaj. Dandavat, everyone.
And by the way, this Tilak and Bindi Day, I think it's one of these like recently invented things or something invented in the West, where the Indians or the Hindu community, they are trying to keep up some of the traditions which they are losing by living in the Western world. So I think it's, whether it's worldwide or whether it's just in India, I don't know. But they seem to have some day where they are trying to remind themselves to wear saris and to wear dhotis and kurtas.
Devotional clothes.
And what?
Some kind of devotional attire.
Some kind of devotional attire instead of, you know, how everybody, even in Delhi and everywhere now, they're wearing, you know, shirts and pants, which has become the Western, well, the worldwide kind of dress instead of the traditional dhoti and kurta. Anyhow, I just mentioned that because I was also puzzled when I heard they were having a Bindi and Tilak Day and thinking, I never heard of such a thing. And then we kind of ask and we find that they're trying to keep some culture.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. But Lavanya Mayi Devi, you didn't say anything.
But actually, we do have also Angeli, didn't we? She has some wealth to
Okay.
share.
It's very good at that.
Okay, we're sharing some wealth before Kumkum and Munindra come to share more wealth with us because they're both prepared because they know from last week they're going to be the main speakers. But we don't want to neglect London. So come close, please, Anjali. I can't move this easily.
What can I say except to start with hello everybody and very wonderful to meet you all because we are all from London, isn't it? You know, and I recognize this beautiful face of Saraswati's sister Krishna Mohini. Lovely. Who else do I seem to recognize up top there somebody. I don't know the name, but the face I see.
Kum Chaitanya Moy, Mari Leela.
Oh my goodness, going back. Hello, sweet Dee it's been a long time, honestly. I did, forgive me, my eyes aren't, so I haven't got my glasses on, but I think that won't even help because, you know, everybody's glasses sometimes make things worse. But it's really so cool to see you guys and those that I don't know, Priya. Anyway, just lovely to see you, really. And we're all here, you are there, but we are still together with our hearts. And when we meet, it's as though we are eternally connected, isn't it? We're all love. Oh, to see you, you know. So it's we have a wonderful relationship between our God sisters and God brothers. It might be a long time until we meet again, but once we do, it's as though we've never been apart. So my love to you all, that's all I can say. And lovely to see you. And Dandabats.
Jai.
Now back to Maharaj and whoever would like to say something also.
Hare Krishna. There we are. Great treasure coming from the heart of Anjali. And she's come all the way from Bournemouth and she's staying here for a few days. She came with Devananda Prabhu.
Yes, where's Devananda?
He was in the Aarti. He's been gardening all day. He's in the Aarti. The devotees are all busy and beautiful, beautifully maintained, I can say. The temple inside and outside is beautifully maintained. And Devananda Prabhu, who we're expecting to arrive any moment, and then he is the main gardener, and he's an enthusiast with green fingers. And someone else with green fingers is Munindra Mohan Prabhu in Italy, and he'll be getting ready to say a few words to you all. But first of all, let us come to Kumkum Devi Dasi, and she is, I think you all know, but there's no harm in repeating Kumkum and just cover, she can cover her ears. Yeah, she's very famous. She's very famous. She's
long time devotion.
Okay, who better to introduce you to her than Anjali, who's also very famous and a long time devotee. But from Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev getting so many blessings, and here continuing steadily, and here as an example and as a leader for us all. So Kumkum Didi, you know the title given by Devashish Prabhu, who you all know, I think he is in India, so it's not a suitable time for him to be with us. But by the way, I was talking with him yesterday, and literally he was radiant. Like the first thing was how radiant and happy he looks. Good. So he's given the subject, worship the path of love in the mood of reverence. Perfect. So over to you, Kumkum Didi, and we'll turn off our microphones so that we can not disturb you.
My obeisances to all of you. It is it's so exciting that we can get together in this way. And next year, my plan is that I will come to England and Italy. And so I hope that Krishna fulfills that desire for me, so I can get some of those hugs, Anjali, in person. And for now, I'll say that this verse reminds me so much of something we need to go deeper and deeper about all the time. The very first time I went to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, and of course this was after getting the fundamentals from His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, and then we got to the mercy, by the grace of Sudhir Maharaj, we got the mercy of Srila Guru Maharaj, and we got to find out that it's an ongoing, lifelong lessons. We'll always keep receiving mercy as much as we want to. And so we'll always be getting closer and closer and closer to reality, where our home and all of the beauty and charm resides. And so when I first entered the gate that very first time, the entire trip seemed miraculous how it came together. And so when, and after the arduous trip from America and then from Calcutta, and I stepped inside, and suddenly everything was bright again. It was not tiring. I was no longer feeling like that. I was overwhelmed with a feeling of Krishna really does want me far, far more than in my most sincere prayers I've ever wanted him. And I didn't try to think of that. That was just the feeling that I had. It was just so obvious that the Dom was saying, welcome, you're so welcome. And then I thought, then where do I give my obeisance? And I looked up and I saw this picture illustrating this verse in the entry to the Nat Mandir. And I did not know at that time how important so many of the things we'd not heard before would become completely vital for us to understand. And so I'll finish up as soon as I can, because I can't wait to hear Munindra Mohan Prabhu speak and Madhusudan Maharaj speak. But I have been asked to speak, so I will just bring up a couple of thoughts that I'm having on this. And one is, of course, the verse itself, and the way that, I'm sure Maharaj and Munindra Mohan Prabhu will elaborate, but one thing, when we first start to read about this from an article by Srila Gurudev, when somebody asks him, does this verse mean that we will follow the ragapat, spontaneous love for Lord Krishna, in a very far way? And Gurudev answers, no, it is very near. We are living very near to Krishna. He is not far from me by 1 inch. So many things in Krishna consciousness we learn are simultaneously the same and different. So how can it be both far, extremely far, and also so near? And so Srila Gurudev in his mercy goes on to explain and explain and explain. And of course, that is what's always assisting us. And it reminds me of our necessity to practice. And in this way, it's not that because he's so near to us, and we do have the perfect setup, we have association, we have our recommended practices on a daily basis, and really meaning nonstop 24 hours a day, that now we're going to be feeling it. We're going to be feeling this mood of ragamag. And if we were doing that, we would be imitating. And so we're protected from the possibility of straying from what is our actual need. How will we truly gain something substantial that will last us from immediately now all the way through the rest of our life? It will assist us in whatever passage we need to go through after that. And every life, it will always be substantiating the absolute truth that we need, more than all of the distractions, good and bad or horrible, in this world. And it reminds me of something we read yesterday in our group together, and someone has asked Srila Gurudev about the difference in quality and quantity of our chanting. And he so patiently answers this with not just patiently, but enthusiastic patience. He answers, and it reminds me of how different our gurus are than is something like the military or an impatient teacher. When somebody asks something, they'll just say, you do it because I said so. And we just are supposed to accept that. But the way our gurus explain something is the outpouring of love that's coming from them to us. They can't contain that. And so they will just keep giving and keep giving. And to summarize what we were reading there, sort of at the end of the way Srila Gurudev explained the difference. The question was, is quality only important, or is quantity also important? And he ends up saying, this mood of quality chanting, of service, is necessary first, but we should not leave quantity in our chanting either. What is actually important and necessary is quality. But as much as possible, we should also try to chant in quantity. If we leave quantity in our chanting, quality will not come. Chanting in quantity in a regular way is good. Because our mind does not want to chant regularly, we need to practice. So it's just stunning how everything is contained in just this one paragraph, but he gives so many paragraphs. And so the idea that we could ignore the instruction of our guru to chant in some quantity. And he's so reasonable about that, and with so much emphasis on the fact that we are servitors after all. But the way he won't leave the quantity is also good. It's not just an achievement, like we used to always have counter beads, and we'd always want to not only see our own counter beads going down the bead bag, but we would chant after Mangalarti in front, all on the sidewalk, everybody all together, walking, and holding up our bead bag. See how many beads have gone down. So it's not for that reason. So we would try, but Srila Gurudev is explaining everything, the quality, but we don't give up the quantity. And what my understanding from this is, our connection to the holy name is only through our gurus. So we can't forget our guru's instruction and think that we'll have any kind of quality or that we'll have any kind of connection with the holy name. So in so much modesty, our gurus don't tell us, you just have to do what I say, but they explain it perfectly. But the fact is, if we ignore our guru's instructions, then there's no way we're actually approaching the holy names. We don't even have that connection. It reminds me of one time when I asked Srila Gurudev, it was the first time I had ever heard him say, and one of his disciples told me that he said, japa, the beads must not fast. And so I had never heard that. And when I saw him, I said, I heard that you said this, and it's quite different. We thought that they were a means of calculating how far along we were in our duty. And so you speak of them, though, like a deity, that we would not let them fast. And he just thought for a split second, and he gave me the answer that I actually needed, which is, what the guru gives, we will not change. So rather than trying to imagine, are the beads like a deity, and therefore we don't want them to fast, and what they want to eat is the holy name. Not like that. He answered me exactly properly, which was, it's coming from our guru. So we don't mess around with that. We don't think that we have any approach. So all of our service can be like that, to be heavily reliant on remembering our guru. Now, please, someone else speak for our benefit.
First, I can say, very, very clear and very, like, your clear thinking and clear presentation coming through so nicely. And it's like purifying for us to hear your words. And I'm also feeling like Gurudev, he would always make things clear, but the nature of us all is to filter the things out that we don't like to hear that part of the instruction. So we should always try to take the whole instruction and not just to take a part which gives us a little lenience, because Gurudev was lenient in many ways, but you know that Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, almost every time that they gave initiation, they said, to chant 16 rounds a day is good and with no upper limit. And the 4 rounds, they come to the fact that at the 4 rounds, it is that if you are busy with savor also.
Yeah.
And if we are busy with savor, then we have very little time to chant, but still the beads won't fast. But that was the lenient side, so that then the devotees are not in much guilt and, all this guilt and trying to catch up. And we've seen in our previous time when devotees trying to catch up, like 3 days, 4 days, where they weren't able to make it. But this way some lenience comes. But we must hear the whole instruction of our masters and not just the part which suits us. And there are not only about the chanting, there are other examples of that also. We don't have to name them all, but so many examples.
Yes, well, I'll mention, since today is Ekadashi, how easy it is for us to rationalize that it's not always going to be possible to observe Ekadashi. There's so many things which may come up and say you don't really have to, and he is so lenient, and so that's another good example of, but my Guru says true, and it is very substantiated, so we're protected.
Sure. And about Ekadashi, just in case anyone's trying to think of a way to slip out of Ekadashi, in all the time I was with Gurudev, I actually never personally heard Gurudev give a caveat for Ekadashi, rather the opposite. And
Yes.
Okay, I know that he has done, because some devotees have said, oh no, he told me this and this, but in all my time with Gurudev, which was at least a few days, then I didn't personally hear him ever say that, but I did personally hear him, the opposite, when devotees who seem to have, quite a good reason why they shouldn't follow Ekadashi, and then Gurudev found that they didn't follow Ekadashi, Gurudev was displeased and told them so too. And we can pull up the devotees as well, not here, maybe with us, but we can also.
Gurudev follow Ekadasi in the last minute.
Right. There's Saraswati. Speak a little louder, Saraswati.
I'm saying that Srila Gurudev himself followed Ekadasi until the last, this last breath.
Mhm.
Even though there is something in the scripture, and the devotees did say to him, Maharaj, in the scripture it says, I think it says over the age of 75. I don't know. There's something that says for health and old age, then it can be wavered. And devotees did
that sort of exemption.
Did say to them, like some exemption, yes, Angela is saying.
Yeah.
But Gurudev followed himself strictly all the way through.
I see there's one question in the chat.
I haven't seen chat or the Russian. You can read the Russian question.
It was in English, the one I saw. Maybe it's a little down.
Oh, yes. Okay. Scarlett, may I humbly ask, is it wrong to, at home, when I am alone, chant with Tulsi Mala without bag? No. No, we don't want to be too concerned with, exactly what's right and wrong. And sometimes, for rules, and sometimes I'm not quite sure why we chant with outside our bag, but anyway, you can chant outside the bag, but when you're in a clean environment, obviously, and Guru Maharaj and Gurudev would say, and here is the bag, keep the beads in the bag to keep them clean. But when you're at home, if for some reason you want to chant openly, what problem? And it's not a matter of facing this direction or that direction, not a matter of taking the bath first and so many things. To chant is to chant. Chant with the heart.
Yeah.
There was some information about translation in Russian, not a question. Oh, okay. Okay, thanks, Brother Sundari, for the clarification.
And is the galaxy in the Europe tomorrow?
Yeah. Yes, Ekadashi does vary place by place. It is calculated specifically for the places. And this is Gurudev's wish. And by the way, also Guru Maharaj, when the devotees were mentioning about Ekadashi and Guru Maharaj, there was some discussion. And Guru Maharaj also, which is no surprise, said as Gurudev, said that the Ekadashi date should be calculated according to the place. So we used to have, by the way, the cousin of Guru Maharaj, and he was a headmaster in a school at Putsuri, which is up the river Ganges upstream from Navadip. And each year he would calculate the calendar, and he was very bright. He was a headmaster, and he knew the way to do it, the way that Guru Maharaj calculated and the way that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur calculated, because those in the astrology, astronomy experts, they know that there are different ways of calculating various astrological things. And Srila Guru Maharaj followed strictly as Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur did, his Guru Maharaj. And so anyhow, Dibendu Bhattacharya was his name. He used to calculate it, but it takes some knowledge, and it is obviously not easy for a layman to do such a calculation. And so in the last few years, and he has now passed away. He retired, he became aged and had difficulty, and now he's not able to do because he's passed away. And so the devotees have been trying very hard to get it right and to get the calculations correct. So for Ekadashi, do try to follow for your local area, and you will see on the web there's a worldwide dates for Ekadashi and the Paran, the date, the breaking of fast after the Ekadashi or the Mahadvadashi dates. And Sevarupa has a question. Sorry, not Sevarupa. Braja Sundari has a question. Dear Maharaj, I have a question. If there is some danger situation and to fast does not make sense, and to eat without cereals and beans is also not possible, will it be okay to eat usual, not on Anukalpa food? Well, we just mentioned that I never heard Gurudev give an exception, myself personally. I never heard Guru Maharaj give an exception, myself personally. And we just heard that Gurudev, we know, followed Ekadashi right up all his life to disappearing from the world. So, if there are some extreme exceptions, and pregnant women, or something which is extreme, I don't know what would be the circumstance, but I don't know.
Maharaj, but I heard about sometimes they allow to have some rice or something when traveling.
I've heard others say things like this, but I've never heard Gurudev. And I've also heard Gurudev strongly, very clearly give chastisement to one devotee who took grains while traveling. So,
And when they were sick even.
And I'm saying my experience only. So to Braja Sundari's request, let's not try to find out the exceptions. Let's try to only see the rule. And if there is some extreme exception, of course, like life or death or something, let's be reasonable. But I don't know of any right until now, really.
Normally.
The war. Okay, yes. What can I say? For survival and this, that, and the other, there maybe. Yes, don't forget, some are in war. Actually, all the time in the world, some are in war. But of course, our devotees are caught up in war at the moment in some places. Of course, there are exceptions to it. Be practical. Still, it's like the chanting of the japa, isn't it? We'll try to do the right thing. Okay, so let us not spend too much time, because we're all eager to hear Munindra Mohan Prabhu. And Munindra Prabhu is also eager to share something with us, because that's his nature, is to share. And he's a good sharer. So everyone give him encouragement. Don't make him nervous. And Munindra, over to you. And he's sitting in Srila Gurudev's room in Vila Govinda Ashram.
Yes, I'm here beside Gurudev bed. Gurudev little altar. And Guru Guranga Gandharvika Gopinath pictures over there. Anyway, Maharaj, you're speaking so nice things, but I'm only thinking why I have reflection in my glass and you all don't. What is your secret?
I have no secret.
Anyway, Maharaj, you pick a topic very high. I mean, now you all talk about Ekadashi and chanting in Japa, and I'm thinking, why shift the topic shift in this way? And then, of course, the answer is because this is our bhajan, this is our service, and through service we can get something like love. Actually, I cannot talk about love even in my own language. What to speak in another language, which is not my language? Impossible, because I don't know what is love truly. And we had a guest yesterday, and they were trying to share some realization about spiritual Svarup. And immediately we felt a little uncomfortable, and even told that our material life can also be inspiration to develop our spiritual Svarup. Then at this point I had to say, no, I'm sorry, any offense, but we cannot accept this, because the material body is the biological manifestation of our illusion, isn't it? How illusion can help to develop.
We've lost your microphone, Prabhu.
Oh, now?
Yeah, yes, now it's okay. It went blank though.
When
It went
long
blank
ago?
just after you said that the body is the manifestation of our spiritual illusion. Just after that.
Yeah, how can be of any help to have a material body to develop a spiritual body? We have to tell him that is not true, because a spiritual body is, well, material body is made with material element and is the biological manifestation of our absence of true love. And spiritual bodies is right the opposite, is made of a tendency of fulfill the desire of God. So how it can be the same? So the conversation went in this way, and then of course we found out that he got wrong association to develop this kind of ideas.
Yeah.
Well, but the conversation make me think how far we are from love. Although everyone of us, I mean, now I'm speaking about myself. I thought is the main thing I want. How far is, I don't even what exactly is. But we hear some description from Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, what is real love and what is the gopi character, and totally absence of any lust in their loving relationship. Nothing for them, everything for Krishna. And this is all about Shravana, I'm also thinking, because it's not from our experience. We have some description of this, and then we appreciate this, and more day by day with our spiritual practice, we read the scripture, we hear from Gurudev, from Guru Maharaj, from Swami Prabhupada, those things, and we start to appreciate more and more. And then there is another story that I like very much. Usually we take, in Vrindavan atmosphere, our inspiration, but Guru Maharaj put in the Prapanna Jivanamritam, so we can appreciate that. It's about the one queen of Dwaraka, Rukmini, that she felt so much attraction with Krishna only hearing about him. So Shravana, importance of Shravana. Although we have not a real connection with this world, through Shravana we can have something, no doubt, and then our kirtana can be enriched with some mood of dedication, some mood of service. And how many rounds we can chant. That, as far as I understood, we should like imbue our chanting with a mood of service. That's the only way to get something from this chanting on japa. Has to be full of service mood. And in this way, maybe, well, love is so far as our dear shloka on the mat recite. We worship Puja la Ragapata Guravabange, Mata la Rijana, Kirtana Ranga. This is the shloka about this Zoom, isn't it, Maharaj? Is our reference mostly. Maharaj, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu. I had the microphone off, so we didn't disturb. Yes, it is indeed, Prabhu.
So Gurudev put in the front space of our temple. It must be very important for us. The way we worship the higher plane of free love without restriction of rules and regulation, and we are actually worshipping the Sankirtan, that worship, that level. So we are in the Sankirtan, but we are in the Sankirtan with a mood of service. We are in the Sankirtan Mahaprabhu, try to contribute to the Sankirtan, not just to participate to a party. Chanting, singing, dancing, and feeling some ecstatic, transcendental bliss. We have joy in our spiritual practice, no doubt, but the joy is coming through service, not through any imagination of reaching any plane of real love or real attachment. So basically, whatever I heard from Kumkum and you, Maharaj, is grounding me a lot on the practice, because I was thinking, oh, this theme is very high. Now, what I can say is about it. But actually, our ground level is the sadhana bhakti. So the proper chanting, the proper association and the proper service, connection with Gurudev and with the Guru Varga, and try to enrich our chanting with the service mood, as Gurudev told us. And although divine love is so far, no doubt, but with some sincerity, is all around the corner, because our Gurudev got it, and we know that. Yeah, this is the front, the manifestation of that shloka. We all saw Gurudev in his daily dealings. We saw Gurudev in Vrindavan, how much internal he was. And when we went with Gurudev in Vrindavan, and all the devotees wanna see that temple, they wanna have a darshan of that deity, and go in parika and this, that, but Gurudev really didn't encourage us. And rather, he would say, our deities are the most beautiful in the world, and you should focus your spiritual life and your service mood here, in this temple, at the feet of Srila Guru Maharaj, beside Srila Jiva Goswami, beside Srila Rupa Goswami, and Seva Kunja, and the divine parampara descending to us. But really, I didn't understand what means that. What means we should focus on the service here, now. It's something very internal, because you all try to do something, clean little bit, maybe help to peel potatoes and this and that, but to focus our spiritual life here, what Gurudev meant, something very internal. And maybe Maharaj can little develop that in this moment or other moments. But I think it was very mystical information. Anyway, I'm a little tired and I don't know what I'm speaking about. And I think I will stop here, Maharaj. Maybe you can give some sense to my words, please.
Actually, Munindra Mohan, we're very grateful. And Saraswati, she absolutely assured me, you knew. Oh, yes, Munindra knows he's one of the chief speakers this evening. So that's why I gave you. So I rang up Munindra just before, and he's just been shopping. He's been out all day. So well done. Surrendering to the circumstances. And yes, for us to be reminded of the shloka of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, slightly adjusted for the clarity of the public in this age. This Pujala Raga Patagora Babange, Matala Sadhu Janna Vishaya Range. Acha. The path of love the path of divine love is worshipable to us and should be held overhead as our highest aspiration. So here in the Loving Search for the Lost Servant, this is Srila Guru Maharaj. So he's got here Sadhu Jana, but that's fine. Everything. When Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev are speaking Sanskrit, they know what they are saying, and they can adjust everything, according to their mood at the time. So anyhow, I'm just going to read a short part, and also in remembrance of Devashish Prabhu, because he's not here, but he would be reading, and we do want to give some words as much as possible from our masters. So. Okay, so from where shall I begin? We must not, so this is Srila Guru Maharaj in the Loving Search for the Lost Servant. We must not allow ourselves to run here and there, searching for base fulfillment, mundane fulfillment. We must forcibly concentrate our attention on divine love. And I know it sounds like a contradiction, but Guru Maharaj continuing, divine love is the highest thing for us. It is the highest in creation, the highest in eternity. And to take our stand in the negative position is the strategy of remaining in the relativity of the highest quarter of service to Krishna. So, Guru Maharaj, I mean, just in 2 sentences, divine love is the highest thing for us. It is the highest in creation, the highest in eternity. And to take our stand in the negative position is the strategy of remaining in the relativity of the highest quarter of service to Krishna. Then Srila Guru Maharaj continuing. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur once composed a verse expressing the proper attitude. Pujala Ragapata Gaurava Bange Mattala Sadhu Jana Vishaya Range. He is saying that the path of divine love is worshipable to us and should be held overhead as our highest aspiration. So in this way, the theme of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, those who follow Mahaprabhu, the Vaishnavas, the worshippers of Krishna, the worshippers of Vishnu, who follow Mahaprabhu, the theme of their life is to stress the negative side and to invite the grace from above, not that we can force ourselves into that plane. And so we say very easily, we are Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And not only that, we say very easily, oh, what Sampradaya are you? Then we say we are the Rupa Nuga Sampradaya. But this whole Sampradaya is based on giving reverence to the upper world, the land, which is the land of sweetness, beauty, and charm. But we give our reverence to that in the respect that we can't venture to go there, even with our minds, or to speak with our bodies, or trying to make it, imagine we have a body of that, fit, that's fit to go there. But we worship that. And that was that diorama which came out above the sloka, which, sorry, I was going to try to find the diorama again, but we saw just briefly the diorama. Maybe I won't find it easily now again. But that diorama came out from the sloka. And why was that sloka there? Above the very entrance, the very first thing you see when you look into Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math from the road and as you enter. It was there to declare what is the policy, what is the strategy, as we just heard Guru Maharaj use. What is the strategy of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, of Mahaprabhu's followers? It is keeping the higher place worshipable upon our head. And we will engage in the activities of devotional service, which are prescribed for us. And what are those prescribed activities? In particular, the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, congregational chanting. And so the devotees, they're engaged with the kartals and mridanga, they're engaged in chanting the names of the Lord, and they are worshipping the higher plane, and not going into the plane of imagination or familiarity, etc. And in that, on that diorama too, you see there is the puja going on, the puja, the worship. And you've got on the left side, somebody has got a chamara, on the right side, someone's got a conch. And so as well as the chanting and dancing, the puja is taking place. So 9 processes of devotional service, and in Kali Yuga, in particular, the chanting of the names in congregational chanting is the process. And the only way to worship Mahaprabhu is with Harinam Sankirtan. And yes, that includes preaching, includes so many things. But to broadcast loudly the names of the Lord with full quality and full quantity as much as possible. So this is the strategy, this is the policy of the devotees, and this is the first thing you see when you enter Chaitanya Saraswat Math, which is given to us as our ideal by Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev. How they structured Chaitanya Saraswat Math, what they showed us, the daily program, the life of a devotee, the attitude of a devotee, all of these things. This is the example for the whole world. And that has brought Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's strong message of the purity of Mahaprabhu's teachings into the practical application for us all. So to stay safe in Krishna consciousness, to stay safe in any journey is a good idea. And so this is our policy, to worship the path of love, but in the mood of reverence. And then we shall try ourselves to do the right things, to engage in the proper way, the proper amount of reading and chanting, of taking prasadam. And in the beginning, so much prasadam, but it doesn't mean that our whole life we will be taking so much prasadam on every meal and every day. After all, we're instructed in the very first verse that Mahaprabhu gave through Rupa Goswami of the Upadashamrita, to control the taste, to control the quantity, and to control also the sex desires, which are all in a row. So in the proper measure, not too much and not too little, everything we do. We're not reading all day, we're not taking prasadam all day, we are not doing so many things, and we're not doing the arati or doing the very formal worship in the puja. We're doing everything in a middle way. And the whole theme is that we will be understanding that we are trying to satisfy our masters by doing what they want us to do. And we know, all of us, we know ourselves, if we're trying to, teach something in a class or teach the children, and you tell them to do something and they don't do it, well, you kind of get a little disinterested in the children. But, the good student, the good child, then naturally they draw the affection of their parents by trying to do the right thing that they've been guided to do. And so we are all very fortunate, because not only are we worshipping that plane that we are hearing about, we are worshipping Srila Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada. We're worshipping Srila Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and the whole parampara. And they are the Ragapatas. They are the ones who are in that plane. And this isn't our imagination, etc. This is the reality for those who've got eyes to see and to know. Then that grand dispensation of Mahaprabhu has been presented to us through the Ragapatas, through those great souls, the associates of Mahaprabhu, the associates of Radha Krishna. And they've come, and we are engaged in the worship very closely of the Vaishnavas, of Guru in particular. And the Vaishnavas, they are engaged in this process, das of the Supreme Lord. So in this way, let our energy flow. Let us try to be devotees, giving our energy happily for the Lord. And following the 6 principles, we'll gradually develop love for the Vaishnavas, and the Vaishnavas are very valuable. Again, the 6 principles given in the Upadeshamrita, of offering gifts, accepting gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, and honoring prasadam, accepting prasadam, and offering foodstuffs to offering prasadam. So this is the process, and with heart and with honor, we will go on in a middle way, and not rigidly, so we're all stone-hearted and only doing this and only doing that. Don't disturb me, I haven't done this. But with heart and with care, we will proceed. We've got the example of wonderful Gurudev, wonderful Guru Maharaj, and we want you all to know them so that you can also freely chant Hare Krishna, freely offer your food, do everything every day with a happy heart for their satisfaction, knowing that we are coming home. We're on our journey to that land of sweetness and beauty, told about in every class practically of our masters. And so let our thick skulls get some of this nectar, and let some of it seep through so that we can see, oh yes, that world is so wonderful. We do keep it on our head, but it is our aspiration. And a person is known by their ideals. Anyway, it's the London Zoom, and we've been very happy to be with the London devotees and with Kumkum and Anjali, who spoke a little bit before, also Saraswati Devi, and with Kumkum and Munindra Mohan, prabhu, and all of you who are listening with all of your ears, however many ears you've got, like we're saying, Sakala Vaishnava Parimore Namaskar, we're giving obeisances to all the feet of all the Vaishnavas. So to all of the ears of all the Vaishnavas, try to fill your ears only with the good things as prescribed by our masters. And in Navadip also, when we go from Chaitanya Saraswat Math, Guru Maharaj's mat, to the center of Navadip, there is a temple on the left. And at the back entrance of the temple, they have 3 statues. And they are taken, I think, from the Western world's idea, but that is, see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. And that is very good for us all. And that's on the back of a Gaudiya Vaishnava temple. And a nice reminder for us all. And this is Rupa Goswami's teaching too. All right, dear devotees, I'd like Saraswati, okay, oh, here's Devanandru giving obeisances. Yeah. We were mentioning you in your absence before, Prabhu, and giving you all full credit for the garden and for his attends the artis and chants his japa. He's a good example, and he's an enthusiast, and he's a mature student.
Yeah.
And in university, the mature students, they are usually the sincere ones. So, okay, bro. Okay, and Ananda Swarupini Devi Rasi is here. She's often with us in the little box. She's here, and we didn't give her a chance to speak because we've been so chatty ourselves, haven't we? And we're just going through so many devotees. We're so happy to be with you all. And from London, let us give our jais, first of all, to Srila Gurudev, to Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, to Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakak Shira Dev Goswami Maharaj, ki jai. And to Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. And to Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. And to Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Our whole Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga, most worshipable ki jai. And to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, the home of our good fortune for us all in this world. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev ki jai. And to all the London devotees and all the worldwide devotees gathered here in London, ki jai. And to Devashish Prabhu, the secretary of the London chapter of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math. We must remember him. He is in India and glowing and happy, and he's engrossed in books and audio and having a wonderful time, as it were, spiritually speaking. So to the Devashish Prabhu, we're kind of trying to represent him a little bit while we're giving these London Zooms. And so to him, ki jai also. And to each of you, our humble obeisances and jais. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha, kripa sindubhya eva cha, patitana pavanebhyo, vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So everyone stay safe, keep your feet on the ground, look up to the higher world, chant Hare Krishna, and be happy. That's the part.
Jai, Jai Gurudev.
Jai Madhusudan Maharaj ki jai.
All right, and to our translators, you're doing always very hard brain work. So now is both of you, it's evening time who are doing our translation this week. Now is time for prasada. Then we can chant Sharirara Vidyajam. All right, dear devotees, take care. Have a good week in Krishna consciousness. And we speak again soon. We visit each other again soon. Dandavat. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.